They have been asking for a pay increase of north of 70%.
70%.
Wild,
increase.
right? Crazy.
Goodness.
They've been offered 50. Turned it down. So now, I think on one front you have, well, that's pretty greedy. You got offered a 50% increase and you turned it down. Or no, hold on, let me take it back. It's greedy on that front, but it's greedy to ask for a 70% increase.
Right.
That's crazy. What are you talking? 70%? That's wild.
Yeah.
But then I hear you've been offered 50%, and it makes me think.
Bonkers.
Yeah, but it makes me think you're onto something.
That's true.
What are these companies getting away with? That it's one thing if they came in, we're like, listen, what are you talking about? 70%. We can offer you 10.
Right.
But they offered them 50. So to me, you missed on the video, but they must be onto something here, right?
I mean, that a 50% increase is bananas.
Bananas.
So it definitely makes you wonder why they've dug in so hard on that 70%. I mean, look, this shipping business is probably one of those old school businesses that have been around forever and probably have some degree of it's just always been this way, and maybe I'm still confused of where the automation comes into play here. Like, I understand why they'd be concerned about it, but how does that fit in here? The automation stuff.
Well, a part of the negotiations with them is their concern that AI is going to take over their jobs.
Right.
The whole thing is going to be done by machines, and all longshoremen go out of business.
If that was a real concern, then they would never have offered them 50%.
Well, here's the thing: is that you might offer them 50% because you're not ready yet. AI is fairly
it's just
new.
far away.
You're not ready yet. You're not ready to do that. I mean, on the All In podcast, something that the host mentioned was he says the way to do this now is to give them their demands now and slowly creep in AI and just slowly but surely do it until it just takes over anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Turning down to 50%, like there's definitely more. There's obviously always more to the story, but that is a really good statistic of turning down 50 after demanding 70. Like this is a huge gap, and
it's
because
to
even offer 50 is somewhat of an admission that
it's coming.
Yeah, or we've kind of
that's what I'm saying.
We've been taking all this.
My thing is, you've been offered 50, and it feels this way to me that, okay, they're probably making bananas money.
Right.
Probably making bananas money. When it comes to AI, it's going to progress over the next 30 years, right? When it comes to AI, everybody is talking about how, and they haven't spoken specifically about Longshoreman, but until now, but everybody has been talking about how there's certain sectors of your business that you're just not going to deal with anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to have a guy, let's say, for example, let's say I looked at it for accounting. I have two accountants, in-house accountants that do a couple of the different bars. Then we have a tax accountant that does everything. That guy, tax accountant, in my opinion, is never going away. He's staying around forever. The two guys within our company will probably boil down to one eventually. But I think AI is going to be a driver of that. Now, accounting in and of itself doesn't the psychology of an accountant really doesn't always trust like an AI. Yeah. They're going in. Their psychology of those people they're going into every number by the penny to figure out things. That's the psychology of it. But before, I think you have QuickBooks that tries to auto-generate, populate things and such and do that. But I think there's an AI model, which I've been approached now a couple times for AI accounting, where they're just going to go in, they're going to be able to do everything. Yeah. They're going to you're going to connect your bank account, connect your credit card. They're going to be able to specifically, especially because everything's online now, specifically identify by something within the code that says, okay, you bought, this Amazon thing was 2 purchases for paper towels used by the Green Rock card. So, that's cost of goods to Green Rock. And it's going to immediately do it. I'm not going to have to go in there and click it myself anymore.
Right.
It's going to immediately do it. Now, you might have this, when we boil down to one accountant, you might have that one guy now overseeing all that, making sure everything's doing his 2 cents and his analysis on the whole thing, right? But I think that's coming. And so I think, and this is my take on this, obviously. I hate when I say that, to be honest with you. Obviously, when I'm speaking, it's my take. But anyway.
Sometimes it's nice to like say that like this is a belief of mine, right? This is not necessarily.
So my belief is that we all see this coming. And my belief is that Maersk, that's how you pronounce it. That's definitely how you pronounce it. Maersk also sees this coming. And so the 50% isn't, hey, we're making a killing right now, which they probably are.
Right.
And we're okay giving you 50%. My opinion is, let's just get back to business. Here's a huge number. Let's get back to business because we know 5-10 years down the road, it's going to be half of you here. And now these just don't matter anymore. Now, I think part of the reason they turned down 50% is likely because the other nuance within the contract does not specifically talk about how you can't lose jobs to AI. That's my guess.
Yeah, they probably would never give that.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Because again, what we're seeing with AI is that they're able to do the same job at a fraction of the cost.
Sure.
So when you're seeing that and you're seeing profits rise like that, you could say it's greed, but it's efficiency. You got to be efficient in this world. That's life. So you could say it's greed, but you're handcuffing people.
Right.
And business owners, whether it's a multi-billion-dollar organization or it's me as a bar owner here in Hoboken, New Jersey, you're going to put me in a position where I have to choose that option.
Sure.
I just have to. And keep in mind, from an accounting perspective, it's the other example I use, the accounting perspective, most of the stuff that I do internally is just shared with the partners. They're not to be used as, live and die by numbers. They're just to give you an overall sense of how the business is going and such. So like having an AI, if I'm going to pay 2 accountants 200 therein, let's say in total, in a year, right? I might only have to pay this software $5,000 a year,
right?
And it'll do it for me, and it just pops out the numbers. I don't have to do anything, and it's supposed to be generalized anyway. I'm not saying it to the IRS,
right?
Like that's for my account to actually go in and really look at everything. This is just supposed to pop something out quick, nicely for me, and I share with it. Hey guys, again, don't live and die by these numbers, but we're looking good.
Right.
We're looking good right now. So and I can do it for 5 rather than 150, 200. So it's just we're all going to get to that point where it's going to be we're not going to have a choice.
Right.
This AI stuff is coming, which brings me and segues me into this next part here. This is not the only industry that's afraid of this.
Correct.
Lawyers are afraid of this. Accountants are afraid of this. Longshoremen are afraid of this. There are so many. If we sat here, we're not going to, but if we sat here and we decided to rattle off other industries, let's brainstorm other industries that might be having trouble with AI.
Right.
Everyone, we could name probably 100.
Sure.
It should be said that this is not the first time we've had these types of innovations.
Sure.
Where AI is the first time we've had an AI innovation, but it's not the first time we've run into something where
it's like it's going to sweepingly take everybody's jobs.
A lot of people's jobs. We're in one of those history book, in my opinion, moments where I don't remember what they were called. I don't know. It was the Great Revolution,
Industrial Revolution.
Like that, yeah. We're in one of those types of moments, in my opinion, that this will be in history books, showing this is the revolution of this.
Machine learning revolution.
Have we learned from the past? And these longshoremen, these lawyers, if you're not adapting now, what do people do? Do people start trending toward like the longshoreman right now? You're in it right now. Should you be trying to work on a plan possibly to do a different type of gig that might have a similar skill set? Yeah, you probably should. Right. You should start looking into something like that. But for kids that are coming up, are you just going away from these industries? Like what? Well, jobs are before I let you go. Jobs are hugely important to politics,
right,
and running on these things. So the politicians are going to have to find a way to keep these people's jobs,
right?
But you can only keep private companies for so long not implementing AI to
right.
keep their costs down. So where do people go?